As we follow the steps of this wild bull, the scarcest fauna comes before our eyes spontaneously. This is an unknown, natural, and wonderful world. The red-knobbed coot, just like the fighting bull, make the spring. They give life to this rough landscape, an area that has not yet been touched by man. Amoroso is leaving. He still doesn't feel the territoriality with the same energy of the birds. For him, the field doesn't have an owner, but he still has a few things to learn. Just 1 kilometer away, a partridge is traumatized. The other adventurous calf has stopped to sniff right on top of its nest. Although bulls are herbivores, as everyone knows, even the partridges, with his hooves and his weight, he's about to crush the partridge chicks. The red partridge is just as Spanish as the bull and easily adapts to the dry terrain of this plain as well. While the partridge tries to remain unnoticed, she calls her offspring, taking advantage of the parsimony of the calf. It's time for a recount, and as a family, they disappear in the semi-desert ground of their home. They sing to get over their fear and celebrate that the calf was not a lynx. At just over 2 months, the crowning of Amoroso begins. The horns are beginning to sprout from his head. In his world, bulls are not the only ones with horns. Stags and fallow deer form part of the fashion of bone art. But the true horns are those of his lineage. They're the most feared, the most powerful, and the most lethal. In his herd of cows and bulls, they have extraordinary daggers, although the horns are different in shape. There are bien armados, or strong horns, bizcos, or non-symmetrical horns. Spanish bullfighting terminology is full of descriptive terms for types of horns: cornigachos, cubetos, capachos, zurdos, brochos. There are bulls with thin, sharp horns, and those with very excessively developed horns. Meanwhile, Amoroso, while protected by his own, does as he pleases and plays in the marsh. From this moment on, his horns will grow approximately 1 centimeter per month. But our bull, like our children, must grow well-nourished. He searches for the udder of his mother with style. He milks from each teat as if it were the last day of his life. He will only feed off his mother's milk for the first 8 months of his life. Amoroso is the shadow of Amorosa during this time, and he accompanies her everywhere. At this age, the bulls are given the very accurate name of suckers in Spanish. They obtain sufficient amounts of mineral salts and albumin from the mother's milk in order to develop in a balanced way. After filling his stomach, our bull falls deeply asleep and dreams like all the happy beings on this earth. Although he lives in a strict matriarchy, Amoroso logically has a father, which he looks like. Molinero is the most admired sire among the newborns of the area. He's the father that every calf wants to have. 658 kilos of solid muscle and testosterone. An enormous red bull of enviable structure and power, and above all, an expert in courting. When Molinero inseminated Amorosa, she was his 17th catch of the month at that time, because stud bulls live polygamy intensely. So much so that they end up exhausted and weak. That's why a set of squats between sessions of intercourse helps protect their rears and blood circulation. That's it, a bull in love and acting like it. His harem is made up of 45 cows, which he attends to 4 times a day. A very rough life for a bull that's been spared from fighting because of the qualities of his seminating seed, but that can die from too much success. Sex and feeling, and many, many kisses. An unexpectedly delicate honeymoon for one of the most grandiose species of the planet. Only a brave cow like the mother of Amoroso dares to affectionately lick the forehead of an adult bull. She's finally pregnant after 2 days of making love. Amoroso is on his way. Time passes, and he leaves his mark on the homeland of his herd. The sun absorbs the wetlands and its spells. The water cycle turns everything upside down, and the black-winged stilt takes advantage. This image reminds us of porcelain and lime. Fish proteins while toasting to the health of the sun so that a delicate beauty remains standing. The black-winged stilt. Summertime is a bad time for the bull. Death is dressed 1,000 ways in this luminous penumbra. Without going to the bullring, the fighting bull can live up to 20 years of age, but during this time he will have to deal with some summer rushes. The prolonged drought, combined with other environmental factors, makes the life of a bull unbearable. This is a fly factory, an infected puddle in which the biomass is so dense that it can be cut with a knife. Minuscule filaments on their feet let them walk on the water like a dancer in a biblical episode. These are bullflies. In some places of Spain, they're referred to as moqui, a temporal curse that breaks out in the middle of the field at high temperatures. Millions of these small insects intimidate the fighting bull. They change his temperament, and he becomes bad-tempered and unpredictable. Like vultures over mountains